Once again at 11 o'clock, we are starting with breaking news of more violence in our community. Breaking news now from the Iroquois neighborhood of South Louisville, where one person is dead tonight and two others are hurt in a triple shooting. Lieutenant Corey Sturgeon says officers responded to the shooting on Lyndhurst Avenue near Taylor Boulevard just after 8 o'clock this evening in the South End. When officers arrived, they found three people there shot, including a 17-year-old with a graze wound. One man died at the scene while the other two were taken to the hospital. Now, the other man is in critical condition, we are told. The teenager is expected to survive. Police say they do have all parties involved in this violence accounted for, again, from tonight's shooting near the Iroquois neighborhood. And then LMPD detectives are also investigating another homicide tonight. Police say officers were called to U of L Hospital downtown around 7 after a man showed up there with gunshot wounds. He died a short time later. Right now, police don't know where the man was shot. Anyone who can help detectives currently investigating these shootings can call the anonymous tip line at 574-LMPD. And hello, everybody. Here on the Night Team tonight, I'm Doug Proffitt. Also new tonight, saving downtown Louisville. Let's face it, folks, it's no secret. Downtown is struggling and has not rebounded since 2020. Now the Louisville Metro Council is hoping that a $3 million incentive program will bring back businesses. WHAS11 Night Team's Taylor Woods and photojournalist Eliza McKenzie has more as LG&E prepares to leave its downtown skyscraper across from the Yum Center, and Taylor is there live tonight. Taylor, what'd you learn?
Doug, the city is doing everything they can to bring more businesses and foot traffic into downtown Louisville. One business owner tells me he hopes this $3 million incentive not only brings businesses, but actually keeps them in downtown Louisville.
Pre-pandemic, most of downtown Louisville was booming with tons of businesses and people. The downtown Bristol Bar and Grill is full of diners heading to see Wicked at the Kentucky Center. But TJ Oakley, the executive vice president, says the Main Street location downtown once had a steady lunch crowd. Then it changed in 2020.
Without having that consistency of our lunch business, it makes it a really volatile situation for restaurants here. It's kind of a feast or famine mode.
Louisville Metro Council approved a $3 million incentive to attract more businesses downtown. That includes a program providing $30 per square foot to office tenants toward physical improvements like construction and permanent fixtures.
There's just a lot of components there that I know is going to make this really attractive for businesses to come back downtown.
One major company, LG&E, announced it's moving out of its downtown tower across from the Yum Center, where it once occupied 14 floors. The lease ends in 2025. LG&E told us it was the most cost-effective decision for their employees and customers.
And we've determined that this obviously is the right choice for us to be able to use the Broadway office location and expand there and invest there.
LG&E is moving employees here to Broadway and spreading the downtown employees across other locations. Days after the pandemic are much different in offices with remote work for many workers.
In the fall, we shifted to 3 days a week in the office. So we're sort of on this hybrid schedule for most of our workers.
However, David Nickley's president and CEO of Nickley's Development is critical of the move by LG&E, calling it devastating for downtown. He says there needs to be a stronger dialogue between the city and major companies to keep them downtown.
Well, I think you need to reach out to your LG&Es, your main employers downtown, find out where they are, what they think needs to be done.
He also says the perception of downtown safety needs to change.
If we're going to spend $3 to $8 million to incentivize people outside of Louisville to come into downtown Louisville, they're not coming to it safe.
And LG&E also told us that they plan to move some of its employees to eastern Jefferson County to the East Point Center. That would also include some Kentucky utility employees. Reporting live in downtown Louisville, Taylor Woods, WHAS 11 Night Team on your side.
Taylor, thank you very much. A new update for you tonight. When will dangerous chemicals be removed from that house in Highview? Well, we've learned tonight that the EPA will now have another meeting on this to update neighbors about their plans for the Applegate Lane properties where dangerous chemicals have been discovered. Tomorrow, the EPA and Metro Emergency Services will introduce a plan to clean up the hazardous materials found in the Highview home on Applegate. They recently switched tactics from planning a controlled burn of the home to using a controlled mechanical approach to remove the chemicals and demolish the house. The meeting starts at 6 tomorrow night at Highview Baptist Church on Fagan Bush Lane. So far, no work has started on any of the homes. 2 people are injured after a crash that happened on I-71 North near the Gene Snyder Freeway in the East End this afternoon. Police responded to this crash just after 3 o'clock. When officers got there, they found a car involved in a crash with 2 semis. Right now, police don't know how this crash happened. 2 people in the car were taken to the hospital, where 1 is in critical condition. Jamarcus Glover, the man at the heart of the investigation that led to the death of Breonna Taylor, now has another warrant out for his arrest after failing to show up in court today for brand new drug charges. Glover was supposed to be in court this morning at 9 for drug trafficking charges. Last Saturday, St. Matthews police arrested Glover and 2 others related to an investigation into a 13-year-old girl's death from a fentanyl overdose back in April. Investigators say Glover was using kids to help him traffic drugs out of a home in the South End in the Taylor Boulevard area. He posted a $20,000 cash bond and was told that he must show up for all court dates. Here's what the prosecutor told the judge today.
Marcus Glover.
Your Honor, I've called for Mr. Glover in the hallway and in the courtroom. He is not answering. I will note to the court that he's on probation out of Division 3, and they issued a arrest warrant based on these cases for violating his probation and $100,000. That warrant's active. I'm not anticipating Mr. Glover joining us today, so it's my motion for a bench warrant for him not being here today.
Glover didn't show up. He was out on bond. Now the police are looking for him again. Glover was the original target of the police raid that led to the death of Breonna Taylor in March of 2020. At the time, police believed he was receiving packages at Taylor's apartment. He was arrested on drug charges the night Taylor was killed and was sentenced to home incarceration and a 5-year probation. Tomorrow, Krista Rogers' former boyfriend, Brooks Houck, will make his first appearance in court after being charged with complicity to murder in her disappearance. During the arraignment, a motion will be heard to reduce Houck's $10 million bond down to $500,000. Right now, he's in the Hardin County Jail. Houck's attorney, Brian Butler of Louisville, argues the current bond is unreasonable and oppressive and called him a low-risk defendant. That arraignment is set for 1 p.m. tomorrow. We'll be there. We'll bring you updates right here tomorrow on WHAS 11 News. All new tonight here on the Night Team, we are on your side tonight with a warning about people pretending to be door-to-door solar installers that work for LG&E and Kentucky Utilities. The utility is now warning the scammers are aggressive. WHAS 11 Night Team's Alex Dieterer has the story. And Alex, how did LG&E become aware of these scammers?
Well, Doug, LG&E has received numerous calls from concerned customers. The scammers are using empty promises and high-pressure sale tactics to try and deceive people.
Scammers are tricky. It's easy to fall for their tricks.
A growing trend, people going door to door pretending to be LG&E and KU solar installers.
Yes, it's a false promise that these folks are giving. And they're telling customers that if they go with their company and install solar panels, that they'll have low energy bills or no utility bills. And so then when customers do this, if they do sign up, then they realize that that's not the case.
LG&E and KU spokesperson David Lowry says the company does not market or sell residential solar panels. The Mayor's Office of Sustainability Executive Director Sumedha Rao says people are not aware of what to look out for when it comes to scams because the solar industry is relatively new.
It's really damaging because I think people are trying to do the right thing by going solar. They want to either save energy costs or do something that's good for the environment. And it's really disheartening to see that some of these players are taking advantage of the people that are trying to do the right thing.
Rao says scammers use time sensitivity tactics, telling customers to sign for service by a certain deadline or are unable to answer questions. These are things to keep an eye out for. LG&E has also received calls that scammers are spoofing their phone number to make it look like the company is calling.
We're not going to ever call you and demand payment or threaten to cut off service if you don't give us instant payment. We don't operate like that.
If someone calls you or shows up at your door claiming to be from LG&E, ask to see the person's company-issued employee or contractor ID card to make sure they are who they say they are. If you think you're being targeted by the scammers, you can find a link to a form to fill out on our website, WHAS11.com. And if you do feel threatened by any of these scammers, please call 911.
Alex, thank you very much. Today, Kentucky Senator and Minority Leader Mitch McConnell praised the ousted Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy. In that historic vote, McCarthy, as you know, was the first Speaker of the House to be removed from the position. It happened yesterday. Today, McConnell thanked McCarthy for his service as Speaker on the Senate floor, calling him a partner he could trust.
The Speaker and I worked closely throughout his tenure, but I was particularly struck by his persistence. He literally willed the President of the United States to the negotiating table and kept coming back again and again until he had helped secure the nation's full faith and credit. Speaker McCarthy was a partner I could trust to be honest and candid, and without fail, optimistic.
With McCarthy out, the chair is being temporarily filled by Representative Patrick McHenry of North Carolina. 2 Republican representatives have already thrown their hat into the ring to become the permanent replacement. Those are House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and Representative Jim Jordan of Ohio.